Hi everyone, welcome to another day of algebra. Good job on completing your Unit 2 test. What we're going to do right now is we're going to review some stuff that you should have learned in 8th grade. We're going to figure out how to determine if something is a function. So go ahead and follow along with the video. If you want to take some notes, feel free to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to go through the notes. Oh, and by the way, there's going to be a code word I say during my video. So please listen carefully for it because you're going to have to enter this code word later on in class. Thanks, and let's get started. Okay, so when we're talking about what a function is a relationship between an x and a y. So this entire school year, we're going to be looking at a variety of different kind of functions, and these are different types of relationships between x's and y's. In the function, the y depends on the x. So there is exactly one value, or one y, for every x value. X values don't repeat if it is a function. So let's go ahead and look at these tables. So again, what we're looking for is to see if our x values repeat. So if we look at our x values, we have a 1, a 4, a 7, a 9, and 11. For each x value, it is matched up with a different y value. So because none of my x's repeat, we say this is a function. If we look at number 2, we have a 6 that matches up with 3, a -5 matches up with 7, a 3 matches up with 3, a 9 matches up with a 9, and a 10 matches up with 3. If we look at our x's, none of these values repeat. So no x's repeat. Even though my y's repeat, my x's don't. So this is still a function. And if you kind of equate it to dating, it's kind of a similar thing. You're in a functioning relationship if you're not cheating on anybody. But if your exes start cheating, that's where you start having a not functioning relationship. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and look at number 3. We have -9 that matches up with 0, but then this 2 here goes on a date with -3. -4 goes out with 5, but that same 2 goes on a date with -5. Do you see how the 2 cheated? Because the x's repeated themselves with different y values, this is not a functioning relationship, so not a function. If you look at example number 4, you're going to see that the 2 again repeated itself, but this time he went on a date with the same number. Because the y values matched up, this one is still a function. So to recap, if your x's don't repeat, then it is a function. But if your x's repeat with different y values, that's when you have a cheating situation and it is not a function. Sometimes we also look at a graph to determine whether or not there is a function. And we use what's called a vertical line test. So a vertical line test means if we draw a straight line on my graph, if at any point it hits more than one dot or more than one point, it is not a function. So if we look at number 5, if I were to draw a vertical line right through here, do you see how I'm overlapping that entire vertical line in there? Because I overlap right here, this is not a function. If we look at number 6, and I were to take my vertical line, let's say I just take my line right here actually, and I were to move this line all the way across, do you see how when I move my purple line, it only hits that picture one time every time I move it? Because it only hits one time, this is a function. Hey guys, remember that code word? Here it is for you. Your code word for today is butterfly. You're going to have to type the word butterfly into the Google form in order to get credit for watching this video. Shh, don't tell any of your friends. Okay, so going back and looking at number 7 now. All right, if I get my little vertical line and I bring it down, so I just kind of erased my vertical line. Let me draw a new one. So if I take a vertical line, so here's a nice up and down line, and I were to bring it across my graph, do you see how it only touches every single point of that graph one at a time? Because it's only touching one at a time, it is a function. And finally, if we take our vertical line test, let me bring my vertical line over. Bring my vertical line over here. If I go down on the heart, do you see how it hits the heart 2 times? It hits it here and here at the same time. So because it touches my picture twice, this one is not a function. So we're going to be dealing with various different parts and of identifying different things and different values and information about these different functions throughout this entire unit. So just to keep in mind that when we're talking about whether or not it's a function, it's asking if there's more than one y value for an x. Or it's asking, is there a vertical line drawn in your picture somewhere? Or does a vertical line test touch that picture more than one time as you move it across the screen? Okay, great job today. Make sure you type in your code word and have a fabulous day. Bye.